All right, hello everyone. Welcome to the Sunday Sweat Club. As you can see, different digs today, and most importantly, we have a raging fire. So if you're wondering if I am sweating, I am. I'm already sweating. I'm not even doing anything yet. I am this month for the next couple classes. I'm not sure how many. I am in Ottawa, Canada. So I will be here for the month of Christmas, and then we'll be in Minnesota after that. So you can look forward to some very festive classes. And I want to emphasize that this time of year is actually when I first started the Sweat Club because I felt like a lot of people needed relaxation around the holidays. The holidays are hard, especially for a shout out to women who tend to do a lot more around the holidays when it comes to prepping, cooking, cleaning, getting presents, right? Self-care is so important in December in particular. All of the winter months can be challenging, but please, as we move into the holiday season, make time for yourself. If you are here and you're practicing, you're already doing it, so props to you, fantastic job. But just a reminder to continue to do so. And if you feel like you need more classes, I have on YouTube, which you should have the links for in the emails that you're receiving, tons of classes, right? So you can go back into the class library and maybe you're like, ooh, this sounds good for what I need today. And even if you don't have time for a full class, you could do a part of a class. Just something to bring us back from out here thinking about like, oh my gosh, what do I need to do? Back into the body, into the breath, and into relaxation. So let us begin. And today we are going to start in a seated meditation. As a reminder, a seat for you could be any type of seat that feels comfortable. Meditation is kind of one of these things that a lot of people find hard, right? And it is hard because we are trying to quiet our thinking mind. And our mind doesn't like to be quiet. Our mind likes to problem solve. Our mind likes to think what is next. But every time we try to sit in silence, we get a little bit better and a little bit more in touch with our intuition. So that will be the goal. We are going to do just about a 2-minute meditation today. Ideally, I would like you to find a seat that is comfortable, that you can sit in for 2 minutes. Could even be on a chair. Don't forget that. Chair, fine. And then bring your hands somewhere on your body. So if you really need to be sending yourself some compassion, maybe a hand to the heart, a hand to the belly, or maybe 2 hands on the knees. If you like, you could also take a mudra, just something to ground you and bring you into stillness. And then close your eyes. Take a deep breath in. And relax your body. So notice how you are sitting, areas of tension that you just tend to exist with, right, in the shoulders and the jaw. See if you can allow those shoulders to melt down to the ground. Allow your tongue to rest gently on the roof of your mouth. And then with your eyes closed, bring your gaze kind of to the center of your vision, but slightly up. So almost like you were trying to look between your eyebrows. In a relaxed way, right? So if it feels like there's tension in the eyes, take it down a little bit. And then the breath should be easy. You might be able to feel it just in and out by the belly button. Belly gently moving. Now, once I let you move into silence, it's like your brain is going to take over. We'll try to focus perhaps on noises, sounds, sensations. And I would like you to just say the word cut. You are cutting the strand of thought. If you don't like the word cut, you could take a different word. Something like pause, break, And you'll use this just to stop the thought. So take one more breath in. And drop into meditation. If your mind has started to wander, a reminder, bring it back. Heavy gaze. Sitting still. Breath in. And a breath out. Allow your eyes to slowly open and just observe the room around you. A reminder that this little short meditation can be extended to much longer. Or even if you only have time for 2 minutes over the next couple months, right? You're busy, 2 minutes a day can really start to make a mental shift. So let's allow ourselves to now take this kind of peace, the stillness we've created in the mind, bring it into the body. So if you are in crisscross, lean back and switch out the cross of your legs. If you are in a different seat, maybe you want to change your seat to find something else. You could extend the legs out to the side. You could extend them in front of you. I don't really care how you sit. Just perhaps if you're starting to feel a little tense in one seat, switch it to something else. Now bring your hands out to the side. Fingertips just lightly touch the ground beside you. As you inhale, pull the belly button in, lengthen through your spine. So your spine is going to separate as you reach up. And then exhale, tuck your chin down to the ground. On your inhale, draw a line across your right collarbone over to your right shoulder. And then as you exhale, open the throat to the sky, roll the head back. If you feel any pinching, just ease off. Bring the chin over to the left shoulder on a breath in. Across the collarbone really slowly as you exhale. Chin comes to the front, and then you'll inhale back up. Slowest shoulder or head neck roll of all time. Again, tuck the chin down as you exhale. Draw a line, this time across your left collarbone with your chin. Take a breath in. Chin to shoulder. Roll the head back, open the throat, exhale to the sky. Take a breath in when you're ready and bring the chin over to the right collarbone. Slide the chin across the collarbone, little by little by little. Exhale. Inhale up. And then release, kind of relax the arms, relax the hands, sway side to side. So I'd like you to take 2 more of these on each side. So you'll go 2 to the right, 2 to the left with your own breath. Think about making a full circle. I like to extend the arms. So another option would be to push the fists out to the side to get a little bit of engagement into the arms, or you can keep the fingertips to the ground. So begin on your own speed. Take a breath in. And then exhale, tuck the chin and begin to move through. We would call this a neck car. This is a controlled articulation of your neck. So what I'm asking you to do, and continue to move as I talk, feel into your body, is to move in a way that will stretch or move your neck in every range of motion, right? So you're hitting all those little corners. And this exercise is fantastic because it will also teach us if you have any pinching on the closing angle side of the neck, right? When you close the neck anywhere, back off, because that means that's something that yoga cannot fix, right? That would be if you have pinching, see a physio, talk to a physio about, oh, why does my neck feel this way? And a reminder that we all have bodies and they're all different. And it's okay if you can't move in a certain range of motion. Continue. When you are finished, and only you can know, take your time. I'm going to ask you to raise your hands above your head and have your palms face each other and stay here. And for those of you who get your hands up earlier, you will just be waiting for everybody else. I'm watching in the live feed, so once we're all there, we'll keep moving. Take your time though, there's no rush. Those of you with the arms extended, see how much you can lengthen through the spine while you try to tuck the ribs slightly in. So tuck the ribs in. Breath in. All right, looks like we're all there from what I can see right now. And then exhale, sweep the hands down and back. Tuck your chin again. Inhale, hands up. Maybe you take a little bit of a back bend this time. Open the heart. Do the opposite of the rib tucking. Look high. Exhale, sweep the hands down. Tuck the chin. One more time. Lift up, sweep up. And then exhale, bring your hands forward. Now we are all probably in different seats. You are going to make your way to a tabletop pose. If you've been practicing with me, you know what happens. No hands as you try to come into tabletop, and then find wrists under shoulders, knees under hips, cat and cow. I gotta say, I am already sweating like crazy behind my knees because this fire is so hot, so this is gonna be really interesting. Just know that I'm here with you if you start to feel tired. We're in it together. All right, drop the belly, shoulders back. If you haven't already, look forward. Exhale, tuck and round into cat. Inhale, drop belly, gaze forward. Exhale, tuck and round. Once more. And then inhale back to center. Walk your knees together, so knees touch, and then extend your right leg back. Place your toe on the ground and start to push through that right heel to get a big stretch on the back of the calf. Maybe moving side to side to kind of feel where you might have a little bit more, a little less tension in the back of the leg. Awesome. Come back to center. Get your knee in line with the hip and then lift the foot up. As always, I'll ask you to take the back bend out of the posture, right, by trying to pull the belly button in, ribs to hips, as they say, trying to bring your rib cage toward your hip bone. Breath in. Lift the foot higher if you can. Breath out. Steady. Push into the hands. Inhale. Exhale. Once more, breath in. Maybe for the last minute you extend the left hand forward and balance. Exhale. And then inhale, reach, lengthen your spine. Exhale, back to center, knees together. Take your knees wide, toes together, push back to child's pose. Just because I think it's going to feel good. Option to take movement in your child's pose. So a lot of times in yoga, we try to stick a pose, but I think there's so much value in moving in and out of the posture, right? It brings more mind-body connection. It brings more engagement. So you always have the option to move if it feels like your body's calling for it. Next breath in, come back up to center. Find your tabletop pose, knees together, wrists under shoulders. Then extend the left leg back and just start to push through that leg. Maybe one leg is different than the other. For some reason, my left calf is tired. Apparently, it's been working overtime. You might find the same. Pushing side to side. All right, back to center. Then inhale, lift that foot up. Immediately try to take the bend out of the spine by imagining maybe your upper spine in cat pose, right? That can start to find that proper engagement. Hold here, breath in. Gaze gently down at the mat so your neck isn't forward, it's down. Breath out. Again, inhale. Exhale. Warming up, slow and strong. Breath in. And if you like, maybe you shift your weight over into your left hand. Hold here. Exhale. Once more. Breath in. Exhale back to center. Take your knee down, hand down, knees wide. Push back to child's pose. All right, we're going to continue this moving variation. So as you inhale, pull yourself up out of child's pose. Separate your ankles so they're in line with the knees, and then lean your hips forward, and you'll just come into a bit of a back bend. So you might just stop here, kind of dipping the hips down. Oops, see how far you can get. No pressure in the low back, and then as you exhale, you'll move back. So don't think about going as low as you can go. More like this is incremental. So you'll move forward a little bit, try to drop the hips towards the ground, shoulders back a little bit more, and then exhale, push back to child's pose. Again, inhale forward. Hips drop. Exhale back, child's pose. All right, inhale forward. Take your knees a bit closer together. Curl your toes under, push up and back, downward facing dog. A reminder that if you don't want to do down dog, you can always stay in tabletop. This is a fantastic substitution. You can move from here, right? So you get to pick either down dog or tabletop pose if you're in down dog. Let's encourage some movement today. Our theme for class is fluidity. Because I feel like not only do we need fluidity in the body, but fluidity in the mind and our expectations, especially right now during this time of year. Come back to center, sink the heels down. Inhale, look forward. And then walk one footprint at a time to the top of the mat. If you are in tabletop, you'll push up and then come up and meet us in a forward fold. Top of the mat, Uttanasana. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Reminder, halfway lift might be here. Inhale, halfway lift. Gaze down at the mat. Exhale, fold. Maybe you're at the highest version. Inhale, halfway lift, sliding the hands back, thighs back. You could be all the way up here. We just want a flat back. Exhale, fold down. Inhale, sit back. Take your knees wide, push through your arms. Come all the way to standing, reach high, look up. Exhale, hands to heart center. Hands by your side, Tadasana. Close your eyes. Step your feet hip width distance apart. So make them as wide as your hips. And then your eyes are closed. Start to shift forward, back, side to side. Just shift around. Feeling the edge of your feet, right? Your toes are really spread. They're stable, even with your eyes closed. What's the outer edge you can safely go without falling over? Great. Come back to center. Open your eyes. Inhale, sweep up, look up. Exhale, fold, Uttanasana. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant your hands and step back to either plank pose if you like, or tabletop. I'll demo the tabletop for us today. We'll lower down nice and slow. 3, elbows back. 2, 1, to your belly. Inhale, lift up, baby cobra, no hands. Exhale, stay. Inhale, squeeze and lift higher. Exhale, stay. Once more, squeeze, lift. And then exhale, lower the forehead to the ground. Now in the spirit of fluidity, we are going to make this fluid by bringing the hands out to the sides, fingertips to the ground, palms are off of the mat. or I should say the ground because they won't be in your mat. Inhale, lift your head and shoulders up. And now we're in a bit of a wide kind of supported back bend, right? So just start to sway side to side. And if this is a lot, you could come down and sway down here. I don't know why I equate a lot of things with a crab. This makes me feel like a crab a little bit as well. So just move left and right. If you want to dip to one side, bending to the other. Again, just kind of using movement to wiggle the spine into action. Take one more breath in. Exhale, lower yourself down to the ground. Hands come by your sides. Your thumbs are in line with your nipples. Curl your toes under. Push up strong, either to plank. If you're doing plank, remember you lift the thighs first and then push up. If you're doing tabletop, push up nice and easy. Tabletop pose. And then up and back, downward facing dog. Option to stay in tabletop as we all reach our right foot up and back. So look down at your right thigh. Roll your right thigh in towards your hip to close the hip and then lift the foot even higher. You know me, I want a drastic difference between the hip being closed and the hip being open, just so we can feel the different sensations. So from here, now bend into your knee, kick your foot towards your butt, and open your hip to the side. Big difference, but your upper body shouldn't change. So there's an inclination, and sometimes in class we allow ourselves to look under that right armpit, right? But today, don't look under the armpit, just keep it up. If you're in tabletop, same thing, you're trying to open the hip to the side. Close the hip, extend the leg, take a breath in. And then exhale, bring your knee to your nose, round through your spine. Inhale, leg up and back, or leg just back into a plank extension. Exhale, knee to nose. Inhale, leg back. And then exhale, take your knee to your nose, one big sweep. Can you shift your weight forward and step through low lunge? You might need to pad your back knee up, so we're going to bring the back knee down to the mat. If you have a pillow, you're welcome to pat it. But if you look at me, you'll notice I'm not on my knee. I'm actually pushing the knee back, so I'm above the kneecap. There's kind of a soft little space trying to get down in the hip flexor. So option one is you will stay here. You might have blocks to make this a little bit more easier, a little bit more comfortable. Option two is you could lift up, bring the hands on top of the thigh, roll the shoulders back. Now for ages in yoga, this is all I did in this pose, and I was like, oh yeah, we're getting such a good stretch. But with age comes wisdom. Instead, once we are deep in this stretch, I know you probably already know at this point, what are we going to do? Pull the right hip back, push the left hip down and forward. So we're engaging, and as you pull right hip back, left hip forward, you might actually lift up slightly out of the pose, and that's okay with me because you're still engaging really deep as you strengthen. Continue to hold. Pulling, it's almost like you're trying to drag your left thigh forward on the mat, the left hip forward. Hold here. 3, 2. You've got this. Shoulders are still back. 1. Breath in. And then exhale, hands come down to the mat. Push your butt back, and you can drag that foot back if you like, coming to tabletop, or you might curl the back toe under, lift the foot up, and push up and back to down dog. Remember, this is your class, this is for you, so do what feels good in your body. Inhale your left leg high right away. Look down at your left thigh, roll it in, whoop. Then try to lift the foot higher. Push into your hands. Feel your fingertips firm on the mat, spreading nice and wide. Sink your right heel down to the ground. Breath in. And a breath out. All right, bend into your left knee. Kick your foot to your butt. Now open your hip, but don't change your upper body at all. So if you're in tabletop, your upper body doesn't change. You're twisting through the spine. Same concept here. We're really kind of opening the hip. The low spine might twist, but the upper spine is not shifting, not moving. 3, 2, 1. All right, inhale, close the leg, or close the hip, extend the leg. And then exhale, you'll take your knee to your nose. You'll do this in either down dog or plank. Inhale, left leg back and up. So maybe you're in plank with me, or maybe you're in down dog. Exhale, knee to nose. Maybe you're in tabletop. Inhale, leg back. Exhale, knee to nose. Once more, leg back, extend. Exhale, knee to nose, and then take a big sweep and step through low lunge. Bring your knee down to the mat. Remember, once the knee comes down, for me, I automatically kind of tuck the toe under, lift the knee up, and push it back further to get a bigger stretch into that left or the right hip flexor now. Hands can be down to the mat. You might have blocks to support you. If it feels okay, you might come up hands on top of the thigh, our Anjaneyasana. Now sink the hips down. First, enjoy a passive version, being like, yep, I'm gonna just find this stretch. Let my hips stretch. And then, once you've got the passive version, shift your left hip backwards, right hip forwards, and start to imagine you're dragging your left or your right thigh, to the front of the mat. Big pull of the right thigh to the front. What that will do is, one, we engage deep in the stretch. Two, it's going to start to really pull the pelvis in the direction that we want it to feel supported in this posture. Stay where you are. Breath in. And out. Again, inhale. I know this is a long hold. Exhale. Once more. Breath in. And then exhale, hands can come down. Option one is you'll just sweep this leg back and come to tabletop pose. Option two, curl the back toe under, lift the back knee up, push up and back, downward facing dog. Inhale, everybody forward. And then we'll lower slow, either in tabletop or plank. 4, I'm starting at 4 instead of 3. 3, 2, and 1 to your belly. Inhale, bring the hands out to the side again and lift up, palms aren't on the mat, into this variation. And just move. We're moving fluid after staying still. All right, exhale will bring you back down to the mat. Hands come by your sides, thumbs in line with your nipples, curl your toes under, lift up to the either plank or tabletop. Exhale back, downward facing dog, or maybe you stay. Breath in. Breath out. Inhale, look forward. Exhale, walk your way patiently to the top of the mat and fold into Uttanasana. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, butt back, arms wide, sweep through your chair pose, come to standing, look up. Exhale, take your hands to your hips. Feet hip width distance apart, breath in. Exhale, sit back, hands on the hips in chair pose. Now in chair, same thing we did, lock your toes down to the mat. So for ages, and I don't know where this came from, we had this idea of like lifting our toes. I don't know where it came from. So if your body intuitively wants to lift, try to tell it to do the opposite. We need our toes. They're really important for our balance, right? So lock the toes down to the mat and then just start shifting from side to side without elevating the chair. See how much you can sit back without the toes lifting, right? Because they're going to want to. See how much you can shift forward without the heels lifting. Left, right, side to side. Maybe make circles. Maybe you're making like a box or a cross. 3, stay low. 2, great work. And 1, push up to standing, nice and easy. Exhale, hands by your sides, Tadasana. Breath in. And a breath out. Inhale, sweep up. Exhale, fold, Uttanasana. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant your hands, step back to plank, and then move into either tabletop or downward facing dog. Right away, and maybe try your feet together today in down dog or a little bit further separated. Inhale your right leg up. Option to stay here and just hold the leg up, or exhale, knee to nose. Maybe you stay in plank or right leg high. Could do right leg back. Exhale, knee to nose. Again, right leg back. You've been here before. Exhale, knee to nose, and let's just sweep this bad boy all the way through. Low lunge. Okay, this time the back knee ideally is not on the mat. You're still welcome to put it down, but if it feels okay, keep that knee up. And now, with the hands on the ground, start to sway forward and back. If you have any pinching in the front of the ankle here, I want you to lay off. No pinching in the front of the ankle, but if it feels okay, try to track your knee as far past your ankle as you can get it. And you might be surprised how far you can get your knee past your ankle. And then you'll exhale, move back, maybe start to straighten a little bit in the front leg. Yeah, so you'll notice we're moving kind of pseudo towards a pyramid pose. So inhale forward, pushing the knee. How far can you get it past the ankle? Chest forward. Exhale, lift the hips up, maybe straighten the leg. Forehead will come towards the shin. Again, forward. And exhale, back. Straighten the leg as much as you can. We are going to move into this pose, but not fully yet. So inhale, come forward. Bring your knee in line with your ankle. Then inhale, lift up, crescent pose, hands high. So this is our first time balancing. If you started with your feet close together in down dog, this might be harder because your feet will be closer to the center line, right? If you step your feet wider apart like they're on railroad tracks, you're going to find better balance. So take a little time to set up your feet properly where you're like, okay, yep, got it. Your hands can be, actually, let's take the hands to the hips again, just because I really want you to feel the hips. Hands come to the hips. Pull the right hip back. Shift your left hip forward. Sink down into your front knee and think about dragging that left hip, that left thigh, trying to pull it forward without allowing it to actually move. 3, 2, keep pulling, 1. All right, now inhale the hands high. And then as you exhale, straighten the leg, hop the back foot to the side, and bring your back heel down to the mat. So you'll notice you might take a little time to get here. Now we're moving towards our pyramid with a more comfortable setup. So straight through the back leg, hands are on the hips again. Pull your right hip backwards, straighten your right leg. Great work. Everybody, I can see you're getting the hang of it. You look fantastic. Now, shoulders back, inhale. Exhale, bring your chest forward. Lean the chest forward. You might stop here and hold. If you can, you'll bring the hands down towards the ground, trying to bring the forehead towards the shin, gazing towards the toe. So remember, if you stop here, that's completely fine. We're still shifting right hip back, left hip forward. If your hands are down on the ground and it feels really comfortable, you might start to walk them backwards to the fingertips pointing back. Only if you can get your forehead to your shin though. All different levels, all different bodies. If you're down towards the ground, notice if that left hip started to open. Stop it from opening. Pull the right hip back. Hold here. 3, 2, 1. Inhale, lift up. If you're on the ground, let's go halfway. And then everybody bring your hands to your hips. Take a micro bend in your front knee. Push yourself all the way to standing. Oh, use the strength of that front leg. Nice work. We're almost there. We've got one more, and then we switch sides. Spin your back heel to the back edge of the mat, and we'll come to warrior two. So you're going to need to step your stance wider, and then find that parallel foot to the back edge. Now, because you've been so patient, right, we did some moving, we did some stillness. We are going to do, again, moving before we do stillness, because I get that we need fluidity as much as we need patience. So extend your arms, and then today you're going to inhale, straighten your front leg, reverse your warrior with the legs straight. Exhale, I guess it'd be reverse almost triangle. Exhale, warrior two. Yeah, so more relaxing that front leg. Inhale, straighten, lift. Exhale, warrior two. Inhale, straighten, lift. Exhale, warrior two. Let's take 2 more. Maybe you make it a little dancey if you're feeling dance moves. Last one. Inhale, straighten, sweep the arm up. And warrior two. Okay. Breath in. And then exhale, hands will come down. Frame your foot. Lift your back heel up. Push either back to tabletop pose. Maybe you come to child's pose for a break, Or if you're still feeling fiery, you can move to down dog and come through a flow with me. So if you're resting, you'll rest for 5 breaths. Otherwise, come to plank pose and lower down slow. 4, 3, 2, 1 to the belly. Inhale, hands come out to the side, and we take our fun back bend variation with movement of any sort for an extra breath. Then lower down. Hands come by your sides, curl your toes under. Push up to either tabletop or plank, and then we'll all meet back in either tabletop or down dog. So if you're in child's pose, come meet us, because believe it or not, we've got a whole nother side to do. What? All right, inhale your left leg high. Push into the hands. Exhale, take your knee to your nose. Option to just stay with the leg high if these are too tiring. Inhale, left leg back. Exhale, knee to nose. Inhale, leg back. And then this one, we're just going to take knee to nose and sweep through. You might need to hike that right hip up to get it through. Low lunge. Now, option to take the back knee down. If you can, keep the back knee up for a little bit and start to sink the hips down. So we are going to move today. Now we're checking on this left ankle, right? Exploring the mobility of the left ankle by pushing the knee past the ankle as far as you can get it. You're going to come to the very back of the toe, right? See how far you can get. I like to use the weight of my chest even to just kind of check. And then as you exhale, you'll straighten that leg any amount. Walk the hands back slightly. Inhale forward, and remember, any variation of this, you might be taking really small movements. Just keep moving through it. As you move, you'll go exhale back. Stick with your own breath. You don't have to stay with me. Remember, as you move forward again, if you haven't already, to continue pulling the left hip backwards. It will start to try to open as you straighten. So once you straighten the leg, pull that left hip back. Exhale forward. All right, let's meet back, knee in line with ankle. Find your prep for your crescent pose. So before we come up, if you felt really wobbly on the other side, step your feet wider into railroad tracks before you even come up. Then inhale, lift up, crescent pose, hands briefly high, but we'll take them right to the hips because biofeedback, i.e. the hands on the hips, right? It helps us know where we are in space. So pull your left hip backwards. Right hip down and forwards as you straighten the leg. I should say right thigh forwards, right? I don't know why the idea that I just like to imagine my back leg stopped working and I really need to try and get it to the front of the mat, but it won't go, right? That's the action, and then try to bring the ankle and the knee in line. I'm trying, but I'm really hot. We're all doing our best, right? Hold here. You can do it. 3. Keep pulling and shifting. Should be a constant tug of the legs. 2. 1 more. Breath in. Exhale when you're ready. All right, straighten that front leg, and we're going to just hop right foot out to the side. So 1 big hop. Right foot comes to the side, toes turn out. And then again, if you look down, you'll be on railroad tracks, right? Hands to the hips, straighten your left leg, pull your left hip back, and then start to lean your chest over that thigh. So you're just kind of leaning. You might stop here. Great. If you're here, remember, shift that hip back. If you fold, you might bring the hands to the ground, continuing to shift the hip. Could bring forehead towards the shin, but gaze towards the toe. If you get close to the shin or you have your forehead on your shin, you could walk the hands back. So fingertips point behind you, palms on the mat, pulling you deeper into the pose. But remember, I include all these levels not because I expect you to do all the levels, but because I want something for everyone. One is not better than the other. Depending on the day, you might take something completely different than the other day. Hold and breathe. 3. 2. 1. Inhale, lift up halfway if you're low. Bring your hands to your hips. Take a micro bend in your front knee. So we've got a little bend to help us lift all the way back up. Say great work to your left leg. Fantastic job, leg. Now, we're coming to a warrior two. So I'm going to spin to the other side so you can see. But let's make the back foot either parallel or slightly turned in. Sink down into your front knee. Your hands are still on your hips to start. So hips should be wide out to the side. We're really thinking about opening. So actually, this back hip is an external rotation, right? The thigh will be rolling out. Once you're down in the front knee, try to push this left knee out to the side gently. Now we're going to move with it, which is the best part because it means we don't have to hold warrior two for 10 years. So as you inhale, straighten the front leg, drop the hand back, lift high, look up. And then exhale, come back down and see how low you can get into your warrior two. Inhale, lift up. Extend, straighten the leg. Try to squeeze your butt cheeks here. Exhale. Warrior two. We're going to do 5, so that was 2. Here's 3. Lift up, squeeze your butt at the top, extend through your spine. Exhale, down. Again, inhale, lift, squeeze. And down. Warrior two. All right, stay in your warrior two. I think that was 5. I'm pretty sure. I might have lost count. We were close if we were almost there. 3, 2, and 1. Sweep the hands down, frame the foot, spin the back heel off the mat. Option to lower the knee down and push back to tabletop or child's pose for a rest. Remember, rest when you need to rest, or sweep the foot up and back. Come to down dog for a breath in. And then exhale, you'll make your way forward to plank and lower down slow. 4, 3, 2, to the ground, 1. I counted 1, but I was already on the ground. I definitely cheated that time, guys. All right, hands coming out to the sides. Inhale, lift up, fingertips down to the ground, and again, sway, creating any form of movement in the spine. And the weird thing is, as you lift in the arms, the low back is lifting, but where can you relax in the front of the body? Opening through the front. 3, 2, and then 1. Hands come down by your sides. Curl your toes under. Push up either to tabletop or plank. Exhale back. Downward facing dog if you're in child's pose. Meet us in either tabletop or down dog. If you haven't had a sip of water, I need a sip of water or I'm going to die. Ooh, I love a good fire. This reminds me of when I taught hot yoga. I love this. Okay. Or I should say any class that I taught in Spain this summer was definitely this hot. Okay. Inhale, look forward. Exhale, travel to the top of the mat and fold into Uttanasana, head is heavy. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, butt back, arms wide, sweep through chair all the way to standing. Look high, hands high. Exhale, hands by your sides. Tadasana, close your eyes. Step your feet hip width distance apart, just like we did before. So find a little weight, eyes closed. And then sway. Find the outside edge of what's comfortable while keeping the toes locked down, the heel locked down. Maybe even you can push your hips forward to get weight into the toes, push the hips back. All right, come back to center, feet together. Now, we are about to move on to my favorite activity. Since we're thinking about fluidity today, fluidity is going to be really fun when we balance, which is what we're moving on to. So bring your hands to your hips. Put all your weight into your left leg, firm on the left leg, and then bring your right knee out to the side. Create a kickstand with your heel on the ankle, toes on the ground, knee to the side. Now, if you're a yogi that's been practicing for a while, you might be like, oh, tree pose, I got this. But guess what? None of us have it today. That is the goal, is actually for us to fall out of our tree pose. Because when we do that, that means we're building more strength at the very end of our range. So first, just find this kickstand and start to shift side to side. Hips back. Maybe you can make circles with your hips, trying to throw yourself slightly off balance. right? Just exploring, oh, when I weighted on this side, when I weighted on this side, that's challenging. Now you might stay here, especially if you have any worries about falling as you do this. Stay with the toe on the ground, create the kickstand, but keep moving. How far back can you move in your range of motion? This should look silly. If you're doing it right, we're gonna look silly. Then slide your foot up to the calf if that feels okay. Now you'll start to do the same thing. And guess what? It gets like 30 times harder once we have the foot and the calf trying to move. Okay, if that feels good, you'll lift your hands to the sky. There's something for everyone, don't worry. What do they call this? This is like trees in the wind, right? Maybe if it feels okay, you could try to lift knee up, bring the foot to the inside of the thigh. Option, once you try that, try it first. Then you could bring the hand onto the foot and try to lift up, and then try to do that from here. So we're all just weird trees in the wind. If you're not falling, that's okay. But I'm gonna give two last options. Option whatever I've given, you will start to look up, gaze at the ceiling, and then sway like a weirdo. For maximum challenge, you will close your eyes and try to sway like a tree, which I'm doing, and it's super hard, and then you're gonna fall out. So I encourage you to build up, right? If you just fell, I saw a bunch of you fell. Great job today. And any day, falling is a celebration because it is how we learn. It's how we get stronger, right? So when you're ready, let's switch to the other leg. My inside of my foot was cramping on that side, so I think we've been on that leg long enough. Let's move to the opposite side. So right leg is strong. And if you didn't fall before, don't worry, you got another chance, right? Start with the kickstand. Hands to the hips. Pushing the butt back. Side to side. Push the knee out. This is fun because like if you start off cocky, you're like, oh yeah, but then once you start to get up, it gets a little harder. So now level 2, I don't like to call it level 2, option 2, because it's really whatever you do can be hard. Now we'll start to do moving the hips side to side on our lower body tree pose. Then extend the arms. Now that's where stuff can get kind of crazy, right? Because you can be really dramatic with your arms. Sweeping the arms up, super strange. Nice. I see some good movement. Okay. If you want to try, you could try hiking, knee up as high as you can get it. Try to bring the foot into the thigh. If that doesn't work, grab for the hand, lift it up. But as I say, try it first because one day you'll be able to do it. And then same thing, keep swaying. I don't know if I see hands moving enough, guys. Weirder hands. There we go. Okay, option to look high and sway. Trying to look up at the ceiling. Option to close your eyes while looking up at the ceiling. That's what I'm gonna do. Only come out when you fall. So make yourself fall, and then once you fall, you are ready to come out and stand, hands facing forward. Tadasana. How fun is that? I think it's so fun. It's so fun to be silly, right? And we should really be encouraging this in not just our tree pose, but in all kinds of other poses. Can you find your edge? And when you fall, celebrate that because it means you're getting deeper, you're learning more, you're doing more. Same concept in life. When we can move more fluidly, we can be a bit sillier. We can let go of things that might seem a little intense and just be like, no, I'm just gonna wiggle through it, right? All right, take a breath in. We're moving down to the ground, breath out. Inhale, sweep the hands up, look up. Exhale, fold, Uttanasana. Inhale, halfway lift. And exhale, plant the hands, step back, and then we're gonna lower easy all the way to the ground together, knees up or knees down. 4, 3, counting faster because I want to, 2 and 1, all the way to the belly. Awesome work. And then instead of doing our back bend, let's just flip over onto our spines. Oh, come down to your back. You can make a noise similar to what I just made. That's the groan of victory, I think. That's what they call it. They being me, that's what we've named it. All right. Let's move into a bridge pose. Hands come down by your sides. Feet are hip width distance apart and then as close as you can get them to your butt. Now let's start the lift in the chest by just lift your chest up to the sky. Try not to gaze at me when you do this. Looking straight up to the ceiling. Lift the chest up and shimmy your shoulder blades together so they're a little bit closer together. Then lift the hips up to the sky. What that does is that ensures our bridge is not just coming from the low back, the hips, right? It's actually coming from the upper spine too. If you like, you can clasp your hands together and try to wiggle your shoulders even closer together while pressing the pinky edges of your knuckles down to the mat. For those who don't know what a pinky is, I have to do this, it makes sense. I'll tell you why. If you don't know what your pinky is, it's the last finger on the other side of the thumb. I've had multiple English second language students ask me what a pinky is, and so I feel like I need to say that now. So push the pinky, not the thumb, the one on the opposite side, firm into the mat, hold there, 3, 2, and then 1. If you've got your hands together, separate them, lower down 1 vertebra at a time. All the way down to the mat. Take your arms above your head and then just sway your knees side to side, windshield wiper the legs. Now we're going to move back to center and create a little fluidity in the bridge so hands can come down by your sides. If you have any shoulder issues, you can leave out the arms in this and you could just do the leg version. But if your shoulders are moving and they feel good, you can come with me. So we'll all lift our hips up, but maybe you lift your hands up at the same time and slowly reach the arms up and over the head. When your hips hit their peak, the back of your hands will hit the ground behind you. So we're really trying to move these two simultaneously. As you exhale, lower the hands and lower the hips. When the hips hit the ground, the hands will hit the ground. So how specific can you be about controlling these two elements? Continue moving with your breath and your body. We'll all be at different speeds. Hips up, hands up. Remember, when your hips can't get any higher, that's when the back of the hands hit the ground. And then you'll lower. Same thing. All the way to the ground. I messed that last one up, and that's okay. I love having my arms over my head. Now, once you're at the bottom, let's come to child's pose, or not child's pose, happy baby. That would be a weird switch. Happy baby. So grab for the outside edges of the feet. Option to stick with our theme and really take a lot of movement. You might even roll onto one side and then the other, bend one foot in and then the other. Or if stillness feels good, you are welcome to just strike a pose and hold. Maybe, and I know this is a wild idea, you try both. All right, let's draw both knees into the chest, give them a squeeze, and then take a twist over to one side. So knees can be together for this one if you like. If you prefer a one-legged twist, you could also take your, let's see, your left knee in, right leg long. Either way, you're twisting over to the right side. So knees might just drop in a really compassionate twist to one side, knees together. Option to take the gaze to the left. At this point in class, your body is on a journey back to its resting state. So allow it to find a little bit more relaxation. Allow your breath to slow. And even for a moment, you might linger, right? It's almost like we linger in this moment, this pose, this before our Shavasana, in between waking and meditation. Come back to center. And in your own time, make your way to the other side. You might even the hips out, find some balance first. And then when you're ready, you'll twist over to the left. Arms can be to a T. You also could have a hand on that leg. Left hand the top of the right leg. Maybe gaze to the right. And same thing. Begin to find that compassionate rest. And if your mind starts to wander in these last few moments, come back to that word you chose at meditation in the beginning of class, to cut the thought off. Because you are here for you, so don't let the mind take you anywhere else. Its only job right now is to allow you to rest, allow you to find relaxation. All right, back to center when you're ready and you feel like both sides are even. And then just move right into a Shavasana. So you might curl into a little ball first and then extend, or if you're like me, I'm just gonna flop right into a Shavasana. You could have your palms face up by your sides. If you're feeling a little depleted and tired and you're wishing to receive energy. If you feel like you need grounding and stability, you could put one hand on the heart, one hand on the belly for Shavasana today. Reminder that if you're in a cold weather climate and not by a scorching fire, you might want to put some socks on, put your sweater on, get really comfortable. And then take a deep breath in. Exhale into Shavasana. If you would like to stay in Shavasana, please stay. A good long Shavasana is incredible, and I encourage it. But if you are ready to move out of your practice and on with your day, you can begin by gently reawakening your body with small movements. Maybe you wiggle in the fingers and toes. Rock your head side to side. And then eventually allow those movements to grow larger. Reach your hands above your head. Take a nice big stretch, left and then right. Moving into the rest of this day, week, month, rest of our year, right? With more fluidity. Can draw one knee towards the chest and then the other. Roll over onto your favorite side in a brief fetal pose, acknowledging your hard work. The fact that you showed up today on a Sunday is not easy, or I should say any day that you're practicing with us. And then press yourself up to a comfortable seat, facing the sound of my voice, your eyes closed. And then you can either take 2 hands over the heart or 2 hands together at heart center, just a gesture of gratitude. Inhale, roll your shoulders up to your ears. And as you exhale, you can slide them down your back. Take a breath in. And exhale, bow your chin in gratitude. Fantastic work, everyone. Lift your head back up, open your eyes. Great job. If you have any questions, you know the drill. Message me, reach out. I will see you next week for the Sunday Sweat Club. I hope you're having a wonderful holiday season. I'm sending you all a big hug, and we'll talk soon. Bye.